Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Secure and Soar, the CEO's Guide to Cybersecurity and AI Success. My name is Earl Kelly, and I am the CEO of Cydian Group, bringing you over 30 years of technology experience and insight from my days as a former CIO of a large insurance agency. As your award winning cyber evangelist, I am here every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern to help you stay always on and always ahead. Now, if you're the CEO or a business owner or just a leader who's trying to cut through all of the noise in technology and get down to what really matters, you are in the right place. My mission every week is simple. I give you the truth without the fluff so you can make better decisions that protect your profits, your people, and your reputation. So here's our roadmap for today. First, I'm going to give you a little background on who I am and why I'm here. Then we're going to cut through the noise and talk about the real signal in cybersecurity and AI right now. We're going to look at who this impacts, what it costs, and most importantly, what you actually control. Then I'll show you how to leverage all of this, not just to protect yourself, but actually grow. After that, I'm going to bust one of this week's AI myths, and then I'll give you a live demo of some of the truly cutting edge AI in action. Finally, I'm going to circle back to that, and we're going to talk about what your next steps should be. So, for those of you who may be new here, my name is Earl Kelly, and I've been in technology for over 3 decades. Yes, I know that makes me sound really old, but it is true. And before founding Cydian Group, I served as a CIO for a large insurance agency. At Cydian Group, we specialize in helping growth-minded businesses and industries like legal, insurance, and small to medium-sized businesses nationwide. We don't just install firewalls and hope for the best. We protect profits, enhance reputations, and we harness AI so that your teams can operate smarter, faster, and more securely. We're based right here in beautiful downtown Jacksonville, Florida. And between myself and my team, we bring over 75 years of combined technology experience. In short, we've seen it all. And our goal is to make sure you don't have to learn the lesson the hard way. So let's talk about the signal beyond the noise, because face it, every week you're bombarded with headlines about hacks, breaches, AI breakthroughs, and more doom scrolling than you can stomach. But what's the real signal for business leaders like you? Well, here it is. Cyber attacks are at an all-time high, and they're getting smarter every day. And almost 50% of all cyber attacks now target small businesses. So in 2023, that was 46%. Now it's 50%. Nearly 70% of SMBs, that's small businesses, reported at least one attempted breach this year. But only 18% said they feel prepared for that. Think about that. 8 out of 10 business leaders right now are basically admitting that they're walking into a fight absolutely unarmed. And when an attack happens, the average downtime after a ransomware event this year is 24 days. And you can see that's up from 22 days in 2024. That's nearly a full month without being fully operational. A month of lost productivity, lost revenue, and lost customer trust. But here's the part that as a business leader should keep you up at night. Hackers aren't just coming at you with brute force anymore. They're using AI to supercharge their attacks. Deepfake phone calls that actually sound like your CFO, AI crafted phishing kits that sail right past your filters, and automation that can blast out attacks at hundreds of companies simultaneously. So if you're looking for the one weak spot, that's where they're going to find it. So this is really going on in the workplace. A lot of us like to put our head in the sand and act like it's not happening. But let me give you some examples of that. And I'm going to ground it in reality with a few of these, right? So this summer, a regional insurance firm was hit with what looked like a normal voicemail from their CFO, except it wasn't. It was an AI-generated voice clone that instructed an employee to wire $92,000 to a vendor account. By the time they realized it was fake, the money was gone. Once you wire money from a bank, it is gone unless you realize within, I believe it's 24 hours. You have to get the FBI and the Secret Service involved, but you have a small amount of time to get that money back. There was also a law practice in the Midwest who opened a client intake form, a simple document that they thought came from a new client. It was actually an AI-generated malware disguised as a PDF. Clicking it launched ransomware that locked every case file in that firm. And a small manufacturer right here in Jacksonville received a vendor invoice that absolutely looked perfect. It had their logo, the right branding, even fake LinkedIn profiles of supposed employees to back it up. They paid that invoice. That one fake invoice cost them $19,000. But now I don't tell you these stories to scare you. I tell you them because they're not hypothetical. These aren't things that are hearsay. They're happening every single week to companies just like yours. So who does this really impact? Well, the truth is it impacts everyone. It hits small businesses the hardest. Why? Because we run absolutely lean. We don't have room for error. We don't have large IT teams just waiting on the sidelines. Here's a sobering statistic. More than 60% of small businesses that experience a major cyber incident will close their doors within 6 months. That means for many, it's not just a bad week, it's absolutely game over. So let's talk about the cost. So we're not just talking about downtime either. We're talking about regulatory penalties. If you're in one of the regulated industries, we're talking about lawsuits, brand damage, and even leadership turnover. And let's talk about brand damage for a moment. You spend so much time making customers trust you as a brand. We spend buku money on that. We have marketing firms that work on that. They trust us as a brand. Yet when there's a breach, that trust is lost. That almost cannot be put a price tag on. So we're talking about regulatory penalties, yes. We're talking about lawsuits, yes. But brand damage can be huge. And then leadership turnover. This cost of a cyber incident today ranges anywhere from $150,000 on the low end to over $2.2 million on the high end. And I know one professional services firm that spent $65,000 just on recovery. But the real loss was they lost their 4 top. That is bigger than anything that you might experience. Once that trust is gone, it's incredibly hard to get it back. But let's talk about the good news. So we've talked about bad news. Let's talk about the good news. You can't stop threats from existing, but you can absolutely control how your business responds. You can control how quickly you adapt. You control who you use as a partner, and you control how seriously you take cybersecurity and AI. The right partner doesn't just bring security, they bring speed, they bring efficiency, and they bring trust. And here's the very exciting part for SMB leaders, and it often gets overlooked. Cybersecurity and AI aren't just defensive tools, they're growth tools. One of our legal clients recently invested in a cybersecurity upgrade, but instead of hiding IT in the closet, they put it front and center in all their proposals. They literally said, here's how we protect your security data. The result, they won 2 new corporate contracts worth $300,000 annually. And that's the difference between looking at security as an expense versus leveraging it as a competitive edge. So before we move into today's myth and today's demo, let me pause and invite you to something I call the Cyber plus AI Profit Session. Now, here's how this works. We'll sit down with you and your leadership team. We will assess your risk, run a dark web scan to see if your employee credentials are already out there, simulate a phishing attack, and then show you how to harness AI to run faster and safer. So let's set some expectations. I'm not going to tell you that this is for everyone. It's not. If you're perfectly happy flying blind, if downtime and lost clients don't concern you, then don't call me. But if you like clarity on where your risks are, if you'd like to see practical ways AI can actually make your team more efficient, then this session is designed for you. Fair enough? You can book it at cydian.group/risk or call us directly at 904-907-8503. Now, let's bust this week's AI myth. Our myth is that AI is stealing all of the jobs from young people. And I have to be honest, I got today's myth from the Wall Street Journal. There was actually a Wall Street Journal article saying that AI is stealing all of the jobs from young people. And here is the truth. So the answer is yes, AI is automating repetitive, low-skill tasks. But it's also creating entirely new categories of work. Data science, AI auditing, ethics, digital strategy, these jobs didn't even exist 10 years ago. The World Economic Forum predicts AI will disrupt about 85 million jobs, but it will create 97 new million ones. So that's a net positive. And here's the kicker. Young people are actually in the best position to win. They are digital natives. They pick up new tech faster than us old Gen Xers. They adapt quicker, and they're the ones who will lead in AI-enabled roles. So the real danger isn't AI taking jobs. The real danger is businesses that don't retrain and reskill their teams. That's where the opportunity gap is. So let's talk about today's AI demo. So my goal today for our AI demo was to talk about Google's DeepMind. And Google DeepMind announced Genie 3 on August the 5th. And so I was going to do a demo on Google DeepMind. Well, it turns out I don't have Google DeepMind. I don't believe. And so I wasn't able to do that. But I believe we can still work on this demo. So let me add this on here. So we're going to share my screen. Do a window, and we'll do this window, and we'll do share. All right, so we're going to build, and we'll see what happens. Now, with Google Studio, I'm supposed to be able to, and again, we're going to learn this together, but I'm supposed to be able to ask it to create an interactive video from a single prompt. So I'm going to type in a futuristic skyline, flying cars, and neon lights, and I'm going to hit run. And let's see what it gives us. So it gave us a photo. Let's try this. Don't you love when it asks you 100 different questions? You're like, I just want to do it. All right. So we're going to describe our video. So let's make a cat video. A cute cat looking at a computer with a headset on, like he's answering customer service calls. And let's see what video it gives us. Well, this is very common. So this is very common in AI because again, AI is very new. So you will see that down here at the bottom. Am I sharing my screen with y'all? Maybe I'm not. Share screen window. All right. So apparently I wasn't sharing my screen. So I apologize. So once I hit run, you will see what it comes up with. So again, we're using Google AI Studio. At first, we created a picture of a city skyline, and secondly, we're now creating a picture of or a video, excuse me, of a cat looking at a computer with a headset on, like he's answering customer service calls. Now, this may take just a few seconds. We've been running for 45 seconds now, and so we will see what comes up. If you haven't tried it yet, X has an engine called Grok. And again, for all of these, we use different engines every week. But Grok also has an engine called Imagine, and it will actually take any photo that you have and turn it into a video. So as you can see here, we came up with a cat. The cat is looking at a computer with a headset on, like he's answering customer service calls. So you'll see that came up in Google Studio. It's very interesting. It gives you a lot that you can possibly do. All right, so let me stop sharing. There we go. Okay, so that was our demo for today. So let's just circle back to everything that we've talked about. We've talked about the risks today. We've talked about, we looked at real examples. We've seen how AI is both a threat and an opportunity. We've looked at what the future could hold. But my question to you, do you want to keep reacting to technology or do you want to get ahead of it? Because if you want to get ahead, the next step is super simple. Schedule your cyber AI profit session with me. We'll help you uncover risks you may not even know about. We'll show you where your team is vulnerable, and we'll map out how AI can be your growth multiplier, not your liability. So here's my upfront contract to you. If we meet and it's not a fit, no harm done. You'll walk away with more clarity than you had before. But if we're a fit, then you will have a roadmap to make your business stronger, safer, and more profitable. So if you think that's worth a conversation, you can book it at cydian.group/risk, or you can call 904-907-8503. Also, I want to bring to your attention our Lunch and Learn. We have a quarterly Lunch and Learn that's coming up this Friday, August 29th, 11:45 a.m. at Fogo de Chão. It's called the AI Boardroom Advantage. We're going to talk about creating an AI board, helping you make decisions 10 times faster and grow 10 times smarter. You can sign up for this at cydian.group/LNL325. And the cost of this is $79.99 per seat. But because you listen to Secure and Soar, you can use code SAS at checkout and lunch is on me. Again, that is August the 29th at 11:45 a.m. So I want to thank you all for joining me today. Stay secure, stay smart, and as always, keep soaring. I'll meet you here next Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Thanks so much for your time. Be kind to each other. Have a great week.